Pac-Man Trolls here with another Magic the Gathering deck tech. This one people have been waiting for probably a long time. I posted it on my Facebook page that I have it. It wasn't finished. Land is kind of iffy with it. It's the 5-color Sliver, but it does work out and it's a very fun deck to run. So for our first thing, we're going to do basic lands. Basic lands are the easiest. It's just one of each color. So we have 5 basic lands, one of each color. 1 island, 1 plains. Yeah. 1 island, 1 plains, 1 forest, 1 mountain, and 1 swamp. So that's 5 basic lands, regular lands. For our next set of lands is we have two of the Evolving Wilds. You get to sacrifice them to search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. This is good just because it's a good thing to get your shuffle if you need it, and also kind of good if you're really trying to search for that one color land you need. And even though I only have 1 in there, it's just good to have. I have 2 Evolving Wilds, and yeah. Now, our next set of lands is our tapped lands, but they gain us life. They're from the con set. We have the playset of Blossoming Sands. You enter the battlefield tapped. When they enter the battlefield, you gain a life. They add a green or a white. A playset of the Windscarred Crags. They enter the battlefield tapped, gain life, and add a red or white to your pool. And a playset of the Rugged Highlands. Enter the battlefield tapped, gain a life, and add a red or green mana to your pool. So again, they're not the best because they enter the battlefield tapped, but trust me, this deck isn't all focused on, speed exactly, but it is powerful as hell. And then we have our other lands. We have the 4 Transguild Promenades. These are perfect for an all color. They enter the battlefield tapped. When they enter the battlefield, pay 1 or sacrifice it, and you can add any color of mana to your pool with these. So 4 of those, and that helps out a lot. So that is our land base. Now we get into the creatures. The creatures are 2 Gale Rider Slivers. I know usually people run 4 of these, but I'm going to only run 2 because I have a lot of others that really are good. So 1 blue mana, you get Slivers you control have flying, and it's a 1/1. So 2 of those are perfect. And then we get 2 of the Sentinel Slivers. These are great as well. For 1 white and 1 colorless, we're getting into our 2 drops. You have Vigilance on all your creatures, and they're 2/2. So that's perfect to have as well. And then we have 4 of the Predatory Slivers. That is a playset of those because who doesn't want a playset of these in a Sliver deck? 1 green, 1 colorless. It gets a +1/+1 on all your Slivers. If you have all 4 out, they get +4/+4. And it's a 1/1, basically enters the battlefield as a 2/2. So that's a really good card. You need a playset of these for all color Sliver and any other Sliver, really. Mana Weft, you need a playset of those. You get 1 green, 1 colorless. They can add any color of mana to your pool. All Slivers get to do that, and they're a 1/1. So, again, you need a playset of those. These I have 2 of. They are the Blur Sliver, 1 red, 2 colorless. They give your Slivers haste, and they're a 2/2. For the Mana Weft, this is very good because that means when you get any Slivers out, you can immediately tap them for mana and get more Slivers out. I have a playset of these because they're phenomenal. The Sliver Bone Scythe Slivers, I have 2 of the Xbox promo art ones and 2 of the regular art ones. So yeah, these give all of your Slivers double strike for 1 white and 3 colorless, and they're a 2/2. And those promo art ones right here, I love that. That art is amazing. So yeah. We also have the most expensive card in the deck, is our 1 Sliver Legion. For a black, a green, a red, a blue, and a white, we get to have all Slivers get a +1/+1 for all Slivers in play. And it's a 7/7. So every Sliver gets a +1/+1 for all Slivers you have out on the battlefield. Actually, not even just you. That reminds me, even if you're fighting a Sliver deck, I think that kicks on because it's each other Sliver. It doesn't say each Sliver you control. So that's insanely powerful. And then we have our 2 main cards of the deck. These are a god. Sliver Overlords. We have for 5 mana, 1 of each color. We can tap 3 and search our deck for any Sliver card, reveal it, and put it into our hand, then shuffle. And we can tap 3 to gain control of a target Sliver, and they're both 7/7s. These are great cards. They're going to help very, very well with getting your Sliver Legion, and also this bad boy. We have 2 of these as well, Sliver Hive Lords. 5 mana, 1 of each color. Gives all of your Slivers indestructible, and they're a 5/5. So again, the gods of the deck are Sliver Legion, Sliver Overlord, and Sliver Hive Lord. And then for our last creature in the deck, this is just powerful. A Megantic. 1 green and 5 colorless, you get your Slivers to get a +3/+3, and there are 6/6 and more adding on to your power. For our sorceries, we have a Pillar of Flame, 1 red. You get to deal 2 damage to a target creature or a player. If a creature died, it would exile it instead. So a little burn. 2 Hive Strings, because we want to produce some Sliver tokens. 1 white, 2 colorless. Put 2 1/1 Sliver tokens out on the field. That's a great card to have. 2 of the Grave Exchange. These are pretty hefty on mana, but they're 2 black, 4 colorless. Return another target card from your graveyard to your hand, or creature, and target player sacrifices a creature. So you return a creature while they have to sacrifice 1. For our instance, we have 2, and they're Wildborn Rebirth. 1 green, 1 colorless. You get to return a target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. More return, except this time they don't get to kill any of yours. And then we have for our artifacts a Kaleidostone. For our 2 colorless on both of these, they come into play. You have to draw a card. For 5 mana and tapping this, you can add 1 of each color to your mana pool. So these are very useful. Obviously, you can see how that is. If you don't have a red or a white or whatever, you can tap it, sack it, get out your Sliver, Hive Lord, or Legion, or whatever. For our last card in the main board of the deck, we have the Planeswalker Domri Raid. For 1 green, 1 red, and 1 colorless, we get to +1. Look at the top card of our deck. If it's a creature, you may reveal it and put it in your hand. -2, target creature you control fights another target creature. And -7, you get the emblem where creatures you control have double strike, trample, hexproof, and haste. And it starts out at 3 royalties, so it's a very good card to have in the Sliver, I think, personally. And then we get into our sideboard. Our sideboard is literally all creatures. And to be honest, it's big time creature based deck. So we have a Diffusion Sliver, 1 blue and 1 colorless. Whenever the Sliver you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter the spell or ability unless the controller pays 2 mana, and it's a 1/1. That's just good to have for, when we need it. For more black Slivers, we have the Leeching, 1 black, 1 colorless. Whenever a Sliver you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life, and it's a 1/1. So that is pretty good. For more green, we have the Venom Slivers, 2 of those, 1 green, 1 colorless. The Slivers you control have Death Touch, and it's a 1/1. For more black, which we have no black Slivers in the main deck anymore, but this is where my black Slivers stand, is in the sideboard, just in case we need them. 2 more Siphon Slivers, 1 black, 2 colorless. Slivers you control have Lifelink, and it's a 2/2. For white, we have Steel Form Slivers, 1 white and 2 colorless. Slivers you control get a +1 defense, and it's a 2/2. For red, we have Belligerent Slivers, 1 red and 2 colorless. Slivers you control cannot be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, so they basically gain Menace, and it's a 2/2. And then for more red, we have Battle Sliver. This is more attack. 1 red, 4 colorless. 3/3 that gives your Slivers a +2 attack. And the last things in our deck is the Ground Shaker Slivers in our sideboard. 1 green, 6 colorless. Slivers you control have Trample, and it's a 5/5. So that is my Sliver all-color deck. And to be honest, it's definitely creature-based more than it is anything else. If you guys have any suggestions, I guess leave some in the comments below. I know that the land is a big thing that a lot of people have a factor on. If you want to add in lands that deal damage to you to tap them because you don't want them to come and tap, that's on you. Me personally, I don't like dealing damage to use my mana, so I went with the tapped lands. I can wait an extra turn to use my land. And then I guess some sorceries and instants would be very useful. I don't have merely any, but there's a lot of good creatures in there that'll help. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to get to opening this. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.